Welcome to another weekly episode of the BSBA Group 1 podcast. And for this week's episode, we are going to talk about why every individual action matters in saving the planet. And I am Rica May Laurelia, your host for this week. This podcast will be divided into 4 parts, in which we will answer the common yet important questions regarding climate change. First and foremost, what is climate change and how did it begin?
For me, climate change is like when the earth gets sick. Just like when you catch a cold and feel different, the earth is also feeling different because of things people do. When we use too much energy or cut down too many trees, it makes the earth temperature go up. This makes the weather change in strange ways. It can get hotter, colder, or rain more than usual.
Climate change, a complex phenomenon influenced by both natural and human factors, has recently been accelerated and intensified as a result of human activities, particularly the use of fossil fuels and industrial practices. The Industrial Revolution was a watershed moment, releasing greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane, which contributed to global warming. This has resulted in rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and ecosystem shifts. Recognizing this origin is critical for developing mitigation strategies and promoting sustainable practices for a more resilient future.
Second, what are the effects of climate change?
Climate change is wreaking havoc on our planet in a variety of ways. Rising temperatures are melting polar ice caps and glaciers, resulting in rising sea levels and increased flooding for coastal communities. Climate change is increasing the frequency and severity of extreme weather events such as hurricanes, droughts, and wildfires. This is not only endangers humans' lives but also destroys ecosystem and reduces the biodiversity.
Furthermore, climate change disrupts rainfall's pattern, resulting in water scarcity in many regions around the world and agricultural shortage, threatening food security. Warmer temperature also aid in the spread of infectious disease such as malaria and dengue fever. Overall, the effects of climate change are widespread and have the potential to have far-reaching consequences for both humans and natural world if immediate action to mitigate them is not taken.
Thirdly, what are the possible solutions to climate change?
So here's the deal with climate change. It's a real problem that needs to be addressed. Fortunately, there are several viable options available to us. First and foremost, we must prioritize the transition to renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power. This entails investing in R&D to make these technologies more efficient and affordable. Another important solution is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by imposing stricter regulations on industries that contribute the most to the problem.
Furthermore, encouraging sustainable agricultural practices such as organic farming and reforestation can aid in a removal of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Finally, educating people about the importance of individual actions such as conserving energy, taking public transportation, and reducing waste will help to combat climate change. It will not be easy, but if we all work together to take these steps, we have a fighting chance of saving our planet for future generations.
Lastly, why every individual action matters in saving the planet?
Climate change is a pressing issue that requires individual actions to be addressed in order to save the planet. We can collectively make a significant difference by conserving energy, reducing waste, and adopting sustainable habits. Switching to renewable energy resources such as solar or wind power, walking or biking instead of driving, supporting local businesses, and eating less meat can all help to reduce deforestation and methane emissions from livestock. Each person's decision have a ripple effects, inspiring others to make environmentally friendly choices. Our collective actions can lead to a more sustainable future for our future generations.
To sum up this week's podcast, we talk about why every individual action matters in saving the planet. First, Mr. Timothy Ribbon and Mr. Luis Embido define what climate change is all about and how it began. Second, Ms. Cassandra De Vera and Mr. Christian Anaran talk about the effects of climate change. Thirdly, Ms. Sheryl Espilita and Ms. Angelica Marie Garcia talk about the possible solutions to climate change. Lastly, Ms. Rhea Lomia Pasaje share with us why every individual action matters in saving the planet. And that concludes this week's podcast. Again, I am Rica Maylea Aurelia, your host. Thank you for listening to the BSBA Group 1 podcast. See you next week!